Well, the overarching thrust of the budget is affordability, whether it's on housing or jobs or childcare or the green economy. Armine Yalnizyan is an economist and Atkinson Fellow on the future of workers. She joins me now. Armine Yalnizyan, good to see you again, and thanks for your time tonight. Is this a budget that will make life more affordable? And if so, what do you see as the key measures to make that happen?
The key measures are housing and dental care. And we know that pharmacare is down the pike, and we know that early learning and childcare, which finally saw every jurisdiction signing on to a deal, will be actually rolling out now. So that will make a difference too in the coming months. These are all indirect ways of dealing with the direct hit. You know, there's also an affordability question of how much can the government do? And there it was made very, very clear in both the numbers that the budget presented, but also what senior officials told us in the lockup, that we don't have an affordability problem for doing anything that we choose to do. Did you know that we are the 9th largest economy on the surface of the planet, and we are in this absolutely rarefied club of countries that can borrow at AAA rating? There's only 10 of us that can do this, and only one other country with as big an economy as us, Germany. But that said, we missed a huge opportunity, which was to address the looming healthcare crisis, and that's something I hope we talk a lot more about in the next few months, and dealing with the health human resource crisis that we are facing in every part of this country.
All right, so what should the budget have said about that?
Oh, I wish that they had done the same thing they did with early learning and childcare. You know, people say healthcare is a provincial jurisdiction, so is early learning and childcare. Look, this budget talked about COVID as if it is a thing of the past. Its impacts are a thing of the past because economically we have 112% of the jobs we had before COVID hit, and GDP is up by over 1% real GDP. That's inflation-adjusted GDP from pre-pandemic. But what we also have inherited is a healthcare system in disarray and a long-term care system that is a debacle, that really failed seniors that required residential care, care in a long-term care facility. And here, the federal government could have said, we are going to be building on the strength of what we learned with the early learning and childcare agreements, that we can negotiate bilateral agreements. We can provide the funding to improve both the number of people providing care as well as the institutions, but they failed to do so. And I feel that that is a huge miss for a government that self-proclaims as feminist and understands the care economy to be at the foundation of the rest of the economy. You know, if you're going to be doing unpaid care for people that are too young, too old, and too sick to work, you're not going to be doing your own paid work. Those people go to work so you can go to work.
Right.
And like, it's every mention, there were 266 mentions of health in this budget. Not one referred to our health labor shortage. It's like, who do you think is doing the care work? Elves? We can do better than this. Absolutely, we can do better, and we must.
There are millions more in new spending in the budget, although not as much as some people thought there would be, and the fiscal track has improved since the economic update. So you're suggesting that there's, in fact, a lot more room to spend here, but critics will say, look, at some point you got to wind it down. What do you say to them?
Well, we are winding it down, $60 billion less because COVID income supports have finished, and revenues are up. They're hugely up. You know, the combination of a global pandemic's impact on supply chains plus a war because of Russia's invasion of Ukraine means that a third of all fertilizers are off the market. A quarter of wheat is off the market. The second largest oil and gas producer, which is Russia, is not sending to the rest of the world, or we're not buying it, by and large, except for Europe. That means Canada's market share in all three of those areas is growing. That means that revenues are growing. That means that producers' revenues are growing, and so are public coffers. In Alberta, they went from a deficit to a surplus in a blink of an eye because of what happened to the price of oil but per barrel. So we absolutely can afford to do more. And in fact, that was the word in the lockup is, we could do more. We could do anything we wanted. Really, we chose to basically respond to the saber rattling on Bay Street. That's what this budget was about. This was responding to Bay Street saying, whoa there, puppies, don't go so fast. And they Send a message loud and clear to Bay Street. Yeah, you'll get exactly what you want. Do you remember they said they were going to put a 3% surtax on the banks in the election platform? Well, it turned out to be only 1.5% surtax. You think lobbying doesn't work? It sure does.
All right, we'll leave it at that. Armine Yalnizyan, thanks again for joining us tonight. Great to talk to you again, and take care.
Thank you. You take care too, Peter.